Right, it's saying this hangout is live, so I'm going to mute my mic and then I'm going to just double check.
Okay.
Right, yeah, we are live.
Excellent. Where are we live?
On YouTube this time. Right.
Okay, cool.
I'll mute this again. I don't know if Bruce, do you want to just take things off and I'll just post the links out to everyone?
Yeah, okay.
And I think what we need a new new YouTube link.
Right, so we are live. I've just posted the link to Facebook, so people should be able to find it on there. Tonight's chat is going to be about tinders. Who hasn't muted? Right, yeah.
No, I am muted.
So it's basically going to be about tinders, where you can find them, when you can find them, how you use them, what you'd use, what else you could use as well, stuff like that. Obviously we'll take questions from the side chat. On tonight's panel at the moment we have me, LG4 Outdoors. Next person to me is Bruce.
Hello. Well, Ginger Bruce.
Next to Bruce we have Kev.
Good evening, everybody.
And next to Kev we have Kurt.
Good evening, everybody. I hope everyone is well.
Right. I know there's just a few people in the side chat, obviously, just trying to get.
Yeah, just have to give them a few minutes for the other people to make their way over.
Bloody internet.
Yeah.
Well, I say internet. It's not internet. It's bloody Google.
Yeah, it's irritating because we can't post a link in the old chat to tell them to come to this chat because it won't let you post any links in the chat.
Yeah. Why it wasn't working before, I don't know.
Yeah.
Should have just came straight up, but apparently we're broadcasting live.
Matt, I think you need to, on the MTFU page, I think you need to post the actual link so it opens up in YouTube, because the link you put in just opens up in Facebook and on YouTube. If that makes any sense.
No, it doesn't.
Do you know, like the link you put on for earlier on?
Yeah.
There was the thing where you press play and there's the actual link address. On that link you've just put on now, there's no actual link address.
Hang on a minute. No, it's coming up on mine. I've just clicked it. Because all I did went into the app and just clicked share and shared it in the MTFU group.
Weird.
Yeah, it's not giving me. Do you know when it shows up blue? The writing shows up blue, and you just take that away. It's just giving me the.
Right. So, the J Huntarian in the side chat, Dale's in the side chat. Hello everybody, obviously just a few little issues.
As usual.
Yeah, wouldn't be the MTFU chat if we didn't have issues. So,
Yeah.
tinders. First one, basically that everyone should know is tinders. Charcoal.
Yep, charcoal, nice and simple.
I can still hear them people. Take have Mark back on the chat.
There's definitely some interference going on.
Yeah. Anyone got their phone near the mics or anything like that?
It's Bruce. It's something to do with Bruce. Yeah, it's definitely Bruce.
Hang on. Still bad?
Yeah, that's I don't know what it was. Right, yeah.
That's a tad bit better.
So, char cloth. Basically what you'd probably use char cloth for is just to start your ember off. I think we'd all agree that. Whether you're using flint and steel or the fire steel or solar ignition or even one of them friggin' stupid fire pistons.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just a bit of a gimmick, but it's another skill to learn, isn't it? So, but you can also use it with friction fire bow as well. If you put a bit of char cloth down first, and when you do get your ember from your wood, that will help the ember a bit. If you get what I mean.
Yep.
So what do you use to make your char cloth? Do you use denim or? Because I've had a lot of people say use denim because it's a heavy cotton, but then there's other people that swear on using like t-shirt material, which is a lot lighter and a lot thinner. Obviously, you can't use anything synthetic because it will just melt.
This was 100% cotton pajama bottoms, like the thick winter ones.
Right.
I tend to use a lot of the thicker denim off like my jeans.
That's it, yeah.
When you're putting it in your tin, you can't really pack it as well as you can with a t-shirt.
Right, yeah.
You know, when it don't get through, you get like a brown instead of a charred black. You get like a brown. So you can use it, but for me personally, anyway, I use like a 2-ounce tobacco tin.
Yeah.
You can use it, but you have to layer it thinly instead of just ramming it in like half a trouser leg or whatever.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. I think the more you pack it in, the less it chars and the longer it takes to do it. Because I know I use the loose tea leaf tins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I use one of them with a hole in the top.
Yeah, I took one of them though and I set fire to it. I made a little video with Lily on my little Bushcraft for Children series, and I've got all the facts of what temperatures they burn at, and then the whole thing set on fire. The whole thing had like a crack down the side, and like that. Well, I published the video anyway because it was frigging funny. But I think I remember something rightly. A ferro rod gives off something like 2,000 degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And flint, a normal flint still is about 400.
Yeah. So it'll take a spark at 400 degrees to char cloth.
Yeah. Which is pretty good.
Yeah, really good. I think James Ontarian was asking what's the best one, the best to use in a fire piston, and that's the same as char cloth, isn't it? I think that's the only thing you can just about ram in there, isn't it?
Yeah, probably a finer one for probably sound like t-shirt material because it's a lot thinner, less fibrous in it. But I think it makes a lot of difference with the fire piston because they're very hit and miss anyway. Because the little rubber seals start to split after about the 10th go.
Yeah.
But Bushcraft Essentials have made a really nice one that looks pretty decent, but it's a lot of money just for a gimmicky thing. That's
Well, my dad's been trying to make one for about a year.
right.
He works at Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
The airplane, the engine side of it.
Mm.
So he's using aviation grade titanium, and his milling machines just can't get it accurate enough. You know, when they're spinning,
Yeah.
he just cannot get it.
Really?
Yeah.
Because there was one, I did actually have a thought. So I remember as a kid when I had an air rifle, if you fill an air rifle up with WD-40 and then fire it, you get a flame come out at the end. You ever notice that?
Yeah.
From the compression.
Yeah.
So if you put a bit of char cloth in a air rifle and probably some oil or something, whether you could actually shoot it into a fire and get an ember in the char cloth just from the compression of the air rifle. Because a lot of people go out camping with an air rifle for capping pigeons and stuff. But give it a go. Give it a go.
It's got to be done. Yeah. That's the next video there.
Yeah, there's a video there. I want to see someone make fire with an air rifle.
That's the next Ferg's A&E video.
Yeah.
But they come from bamboo. They used to use them with bamboo, didn't they? That's where they derived from. Is the fire piston was bamboo, and I just thought, how if my dad can't get it that precise at a Rolls Royce engineering factory, how did they used to do it with bamboo? Which just baffles my head. I just can't get it. I just can't figure that one out. But so we've got charcoal. Does anyone else char anything when they're out? I know it's pretty useless because you've already got your fire established, but birch polypore, that's a good one to char up. Does anyone else do it? I know, like just normal twigs and sticks. I know if you're going to get some bad weather, you can just char them in your tin. If you've got a fire established, most of them will take when it's charred again. Most of it will take a spark.
Yeah, char punkwood is really good because it's that real sort of fluffy, corky like sort of. But yeah, good one.
Don't try and char cattail fluff. Doesn't work. I know that one. It's pretty fire retardant.
Oh really?
Yeah. Literally, I've put loads of embers on the fresh stuff, the stuff that's been, where it starts popping out of the seed head.
Yeah.
I put a spark onto that. It'll spark, but then it literally just fizzles out. And you can literally open up your bundle.
It's like a flash flame, isn't it?
Yeah, you can open up the bundle and it's still perfectly white inside, where it hasn't even touched it. It's no good.
That's weird.
No.
Yeah.
Is there any tips on charring? I mean, most of us it's second nature to us now. But has anyone got any tips?
All I do, I've got a the travel sweets come in a tin, one of those tins, and I've drilled a hole through the lid and then through the top of in the side, so the holes don't line up. So you turn it and the holes line up, and then you can char it, bung it to fire. But then you can turn it so the holes don't line up, so it keeps it dry. If you get what I mean.
Yeah.
But that I just got a big roll of t-shirt material, just kept wrapped it round and round and round and bunged it in there, and that actually came out pretty well. So, I've done it with denim before, but like you say, I did have trouble with it, but the t-shirt material came out really well. So.
A lot of people keep checking it as well. I mean, I've logged mine in there before, and just about 4 hours later, after I was sobered up a bit, I went and retrieved it.
Yeah.
And it was, you can't overdo it. You can undo it, but you can't overdo it. But when the smoke starts coming out your air vents, your air holes, that's roughly when it will take a spark after that. That's roughly when it's done. Because obviously there's no moisture left in the fabrics or whatever then.
Yeah. Because a similar way of sticking a load of birch bark in there, and then you get the resin out of the birch bark.
Yeah, that's something I really want to try. That's the next thing.
But you do need loads of birch bark to get any kind of resin out of it. You'll just end up with a bit of a sticky mess in the bottom of the tin, and that's it. But you need like a 5 litre paint sort of can or something like that, and then fill that up with birch bark and. Yeah, it's doable, but then again, that's also a really good fire starter because it's just resin. Yeah, that's a very good one.
On it.
Yeah, it should do. Yeah,
and obviously you can use it for candles. I've seen people use birch bark oil for candles and or whatever else.
Yeah, and use it as a glue. It's loads of applications. It's quite a good thing to make, but yeah, it's just so much harder than they actually let on. So.
Yeah, I think I was watching a video actually the other day. I think it was Will Lord.
Yeah.
Who was on about it was actually because it's coming to this time of year for birch trapping.
Yeah.
Says the past few that he's looked at for the past few years, the plugs that he's used are starting to rot. So he was looking into using obviously the birch tar to seal the whole thing off.
Okay.
But then it didn't have a follow-up video, so probably a load of bollocks.
Yeah, but the birch tapping thing. I've tried it once and I was too late because I just didn't have time to get in the woods when it was because there's like a 2-week window where you can do it. And it does alter a little bit in the depending where in the country you are.
Yeah. But
at the end of the day, it's just water. Because everyone's saying you're getting this sort of amazing sap. It's not. It's not this super sweet honey that's going to come leaking out the tree. It's just bloody water.
If you want the correct term, it's phlegm.
Yeah, but yeah, when it's a full flow, it's just water. That's all it is. It's really, really pure water because it's been filtered through a tree. But at the end of the day, it's... Sorry, you just like Kev?
Yeah, no, it's not. I did it for the first time last year, and I struggled to get it. I struggled to get the plug to reseal it.
Yeah.
So then I had to go back and research it. But the water, the sap was really tasty, and it was a bit sweeter. In the end, I ended up plugging it with some beeswax. But rather than drill it and core it out, if you can find a birch tree that's not in the woods, because near me you can't get a low branch for about 20-30 foot.
Okay.
But if you go to a birch bark and all you have to do is literally snap the end off the branches that sprue out.
Yeah.
And then you can tap it that way. You don't have to drill into the bark or through the armor or anything like that. You can just literally hang your billy can and just snap the end of the twig, and it won't cause no damage whatsoever to the tree then. So that's probably the safer way to do it if anyone wants to go out and do it.
I think there was a video I saw where someone had been tapping trees, and they went back to trees that they'd tapped like the year before and the year before that, and they were all dead.
Yeah.
Where they just bleed to death because they've tapped them, the tree hasn't healed during that year, and then when it comes for the sap to push up from the roots, there's so much pressure involved. It's ridiculous, and it's just burst the wound again, and they've leaked out.
One of the other problems is the same reason you've gone there for the sap. Every insect and every creature is going to do the same, and that's the lead to infection as well.
Yeah, getting infection into the tree. But then birch trees don't live that long anyway. They haven't got, as trees go, they don't actually live that long. They're like the first trees that grow in a woodland, then they die off, and then all the other trees grow from their fertilisation, as it were.
Yeah.
So.
So that leads on from birch bark as
Yeah, brilliant. Everything about birch says fire. It really does. Yeah. How would you prepare your birch bark?
I normally scrape it.
Yeah, scrape it, make a dust. Yeah.
And then if I can, I always try and take a bit with me. What I've foraged the camp before, so I've got something dry, and that's a brilliant accelerator for start a fire, preferably on a raft, put my spark to it, and then have a little bit, just to go under my teepee or whatever fire lay I'm making.
Yeah.
It's a great accelerant.
And you always tend to like whenever you go to McDonald's and they've got the paper birch there with loads peeling off, and you go, oh yeah, I'll have some of that. Go and stuff it in your pockets. But it's usually in like car parks and shopping areas.
Yeah.
But we don't have our McDonald's is next to the steelworks, and there's absolutely nothing grows there whatsoever. I'll probably poison myself if I tried to even pick anything down there. So.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there's a lot of paper birch around sort of London. These sort of little trees they stick in car parks along the sides of roads. There's always paper birch there, which is they're very very thin.
Yeah.
But you can just peel that off because a lot of people say the peeling the bark off damages them, but the birch are used to very very cold temperatures, and they're actually start shedding their bark because they're too hot. They're trying to get rid of layers, trying to cool down. So if you're peeling the bark off, it doesn't actually hurt them. Yeah. Unless you're cutting right into it, but if just peeling it off with your fingers, no worries at all.
Yeah, wouldn't suggest anyone cut into a live tree.
No, and definitely don't ring it all the way around. That's just killing it. That's just that's how they kill it. Yeah, yeah. No, you do get people doing it because they try and make you get like birch containers, can't you? Make cups.
Yeah.
Then you stitch it all up. When you just ring a tree, that's it. It's dead. Game over. Because on Wrangle Style, he's got a video on how to kill a tree, and that's exactly what he does. Just goes around ringing a load of them.
Yeah, best bet you can do is try and get some recently down. If anyone's interested in doing birch for containers or whatever else they want to do, is recently down. Just see a forester.
Yeah. Or phone a tree surgeon.
Yeah.
Phone a local tree surgeon and say, I want to make some spoons. I want to save some. I want some birch bark, and they'll just save you a shitload of it. And if you're carving spoons and you get hold of a load of wood, stick it in the freezer, because then it's not going to dry out and you'll still be able to carve it. So, there you go. Another tip.
Another tip.
Never knew that.
You what?
I never knew that. Sticking it in the freezer to keep it fresh.
Stick it in the freezer. And the other thing is, if you're carving a spoon on camp and then you go back home and you think, oh, I ain't got time to do it, I've got to go to work, bung it in the freezer. But always keep it in a plastic bag as well, because then it's not going to dry out too quick and crack.
Yeah, I did that with my first ever cook I ever made.
Yeah.
I woke up the next morning and nearly cried. after about 9 hours of carving and blisters all over myself.
Yeah.
And I was like, hang on, I can see through this.
Yeah. I did a lump of eucalyptus, and that is hard as hell. And I was carving away at it, and that actually cracked and shrank while I was carving it.
Oh no!
And I was like, because if you look at eucalyptus when that's dried, there's massive cracks in it because there's so much water in eucalyptus, because it's used to being in a hot climate, so it sucks up so much water. Because like a eucalyptus branch is so bloody heavy. If you cut the tree down, it's just monumentally heavy. But they dry out so quick and they crack, so you'd have to like keep them really protected and wrapped up and let them, sort of, we call them mature by themselves, Otherwise they're just cracking off. They're terrible, but it smells nice. So.
Yeah, I know you can wax the end of the branches as well. Like you'll wax them or paint them to stop the water drying out.
Yeah, yeah, put creosote on them and things like that. That's what I used to do when you're pruning. It's like plum trees, and apple trees, and things like that. But I'm not much of a gardener, so I wouldn't know.
I'll just lop the ends off.
Yeah. So what? I think the most probably popular tinder that everybody uses is cotton balls and Vaseline. Actually, that's probably the most popular. Yeah.
Mine's grass. Mine's dried grass. Just for the simple fact, I get a sense of achievement every time I blow one into a flame.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
On the way in, most of the time, I just stuff it in my trouser legs or whatever.
Yeah.
And then hopefully by the time you've got your camp set up or whatever and you need a fire, my body temperature to drive the grass out. So
yeah.
So I'm mindful on the walk into camp. I've never had a dump pouch. I've only just made one.
Yeah.
I'm always mindful of things I can find, like the top of plants or feathers or anything, and then just blowing it. I don't know. It's like caveman in all of us. I think I just love blowing it into flame.
Yeah. So when it suddenly goes.
Yeah.
I think the best one is when you do the friction fire bow, you get the ember and you're knackered, and you're trying to blow gently, but you're trying to try not to suffocate as well. So you're out of breath. You're trying to blow gently while trying to breathe in because you're knackered, and then you get smoke in your eyes as well.
Yeah, you can't see where you're blowing.
Yeah, but then when it does eventually, when you do eventually get the fire, it's like the best thing ever. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, well worth trying. I definitely need to give that another go. I haven't actually done it on the channel at all.
Or friction fire?
Yeah, just haven't bothered with it.
No, I haven't, because it's one of them things. I can't constantly get an ember at the minute. I'm just about in the region, but I don't think anyone wants to see a great big fat bald-headed guy fucking stood over a bow drill for an hour and a half trying to get one to go. So
yeah,
when I get a bit quicker and a bit constant, I think that's when I'll upload a video of it.
Yeah, everyone's got the idea that they can go out and snap a twig off a tree and pick up a bit of wood off the floor and make a friction fire bow, but there's so much wet and dampness and in this country, and we've had such a crap summer. I think every camp I had last year it rained, or it absolutely pissed down the day before. When we did the 5-item camp, the day before it just did not stop raining. It was like 16 hours of rain constantly, and when we got to camp, everything was absolutely sopping. I couldn't even get the birch bark to light.
No.
I had a jet lighter, and I've made it in little thin strips, and just about got that to light, and then laid out loads of other birch bark next to it to keep the bloody fire going, because everything was just soaking. And then I made a bed out of a big pile of leaves, and they were all soaking wet, so I had to keep sort of rolling them around in front of the fire, trying to dry them out. I was like, bloody nightmare. But yeah, the amount that water affects it, and just damping the air, it's ridiculous. But you do know when you're doing the fire bow, when you get that sort of white wispy smoke to start with, that's usually just steam.
Yeah.
Yeah, the damp coming out of the wood. Whereas a lot of people go, oh, that's it, and then start going for it, and knacker themselves out before they're actually getting any friction. It's young Matt.
How you doing?
Yeah, doing good. How's your dump pouch? Is it good?
It's fine, thank you very much. Not used it yet, but now I've got my leather kit, I might have to modify the little back bit.
Yeah, cool.
Needs to be a little bit bigger, I think.
Oh, needs to be a bit, a bit of hang over the top.
How you all doing anyway?
Yeah, we're doing good.
Yeah, not
good.
bad time, mate.
Yeah.
So I see we're on about Tinder.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've been making fire kits recently, so what's your favourite go-to fire method?
At the moment now, it's those wax pads.
Mhm.
I'm getting quite a good burn on them for about 5-6 minutes.
That's cool.
Because as I say, I'll mix Vaseline in with a wax candle, and then just dip the pads in.
Okay.
But I want to get more into the natural tinders and stuff like that, so that's why I've come on tonight to try and find out a little bit more about what's best to use, best place to get them, best place to find it. I know you're going to say the woods and stuff like that, but
yeah,
ideally, where's the best place to look in the woods?
Birch bark. Birch bark, that's probably the number one.
Yeah, birch bark, I've got loads and loads of that because that's the most popular one I can find at the moment.
Have you picked any of the King Alfred's cakes off of birch?
I had one, and then it just disintegrated into a powder, and I've not used anything since. But I'm still going to be looking for that again soon.
Or cramp.
The King Alfred cake is more of a an ember extender, really.
Yeah, it carry it.
Not like a cramp ball or coal fungus, whatever.
Yeah, well, use it like a char cloth, can't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get a spark, chuck a spark into it, and then get your tinder bundle.
Yeah.
But I'm liking these natural tinder tins that Beaver Bushcraft is sending out.
Right.
And I'm looking at, like I say, I noticed the one that Matt got the weekend or sometime last week. And I went down to Corby with James Huntarian, 1986,
Right.
and some of the guys there had Armadillo. Phil Outdoor Lip had some Armadillo.
Right.
I want to try and find that or process that, and that's what I want to get into next. Sort of the natural tinder.
It's a big old process, isn't it? Armadillo, though, it's like a 2-day process, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's
Well,
one of them.
I've got no idea what it is or where it comes from or the best way to do it.
It comes from the King Alfred's cake or horseshoe from
Horseshoe fungus.
Yeah.
Horseshoe fungus, yeah.
Yeah.
Beaver Bushcraft do sell it unprocessed, Matt.
Right.
But they say it's one of them things that you'll do once and never again.
Yeah, so it's just best to buy some.
It's the tremolade horseshoe, isn't it?
Yeah, you can get it in the birch polypore as well. It's slightly thinner.
Is it?
Yeah.
Definitely fatwood though. That's definitely a good natural stuff you can find. You know what I mean? That's my favourite, to be honest. Fatwood.
Yeah.
Well,
I've
just brought a small pack off Amazon. I think there's 4 sticks for about £2.20.
Oh, that's a lash, mate.
I just did it because I got like £5 in my bank account. I thought I'll get some of that.
Yeah.
Just add it to my kit. But I know you can process it and get it from the pine trees and stuff and whatnot. So.
Well, normally sorry.
No, so if you was looking for fatwood, how would you find it? Because I've tried. I don't really have pine woods round this way.
Well, that's it. I'm lucky enough to have a lot of pine up where I am. And normally I just look for where they've like snapped off due to wind halfway, and they're like half a rotten stump. Because you knock that stump over with ease, but you get rid of all the crappy like rotten wood away. You get to the core, and that's the fatwood. So then it's just obviously take it home and process it, or process it when you're there.
Right,
And it works instantly.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
what it's meant to be is, when the tree falls over,
Yeah.
all of them branches that are facing down, the resin tends to pool there.
Yeah, especially on the knots on the tree as well. Where on the shoulder, this is like a knot. What I've got here, I don't know if you can. That's a knot, and it's just full.
Yeah.
Absolutely full of the stuff. I just sniff it me for days. I want to make a necklace out of it and just have it as my deodorant. It's absolutely the best smell in the world.
Obviously, another place is the roots as well. Obviously, if you've got a tree that's blown over and it's pulled the roots up, you can get.
Yeah, well, when I was in Wales, I did a video, I don't know, like a fucking windy walk in Wales or something, and I was looking at the roots there, and I found some, and it smelt resinous, but I couldn't get it to light or anything, because it was just like a very low amount of resin in it. But that was the whole root ball, and that was the only big root I could find. But I think it's more the centre tap roots, isn't it? The more heartwood.
Yeah. I think it's the tree as well. Depends on the tree, because not all of them are going to have anything very much in.
Yeah, no, but that was the other question: is does it matter what time of year it is? Like birch pushes the sap up from the bottom, or is it always fatwood at the bottom of the tree, or is it because all the resin is stored in the roots during the winter? I don't know.
I mean, you wouldn't have thought with an evergreen tree it would matter that much.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if they push some of it down, or I don't know.
Isn't it nature's way of the tree trying to heal itself that pushes that sap to the point of damage? And that's where the fatwood comes out.
That's more the resin. That's like the which you can use as well when it's in the liquid form or crystal form. But the fatwood, you can take it off the shoulder of the branch. But what Kirk's trying to say, you can find it in the punky wood as well.
All right.
But yeah, the resin when if something falls onto it, or like people walking around and whack stuff, whacking apples into a pine tree, that's the resin. That's sealing the gap rather than being naturally inside it.
Got it.
Yeah. So in the punky wood, if there's a stump there that's all rotted away and all punky, if you kick all the punky wood away, obviously what's the name of the stuff in the resin?
The fatwood.
In the fatwood, there's what's the chemical in it?
Turpentine.
Turpentine.
Yeah, turpentine. The turpentine would protect the fatwood.
Yeah.
So that's not the rot, is it? Yeah. So you can kick all the punky fluff away, and then you'd still end up with a decent bit of preserved varnished wood in the middle. Yeah.
Eventually it'll rot down eventually, but
Yeah.
obviously it all depends when you're going to get it. If you get it, say if it's just blown down, or if it just blows down, I normally leave them a couple of years, like my spots, for them to proper get rotted, so it's just easier to process. You just get like a solid like core of just fat wood, and it's a lot easier. That's like I say, if you find the one that's fallen down halfway, let it rot out. Let it rot out a bit, and then, like I say, it just makes your job a lot more easier.
Yeah. Because I've seen a few people making fatwood fire steels. That's genius, because all you got to do is scrape a bit of fatwood off and strike your fire steel. There you go, and you've got fire.
That's absolutely a trippy idea, is that?
Yeah, it's a good idea.
That is quality.
Yeah, and then all you need is a knife and a fire steel, and you don't even have to hunt for fatwood because it's on the bloody fire steel. It doesn't matter how big and gnarly the fire steel is, just drill a hole and glue it in. Jobs are good.
Has anyone seen the on that similar way of thinking, the paracord, the fire paracord?
Yes.
And then you can take a bit off your lanyard, off your fire steel, and it's got the fibres inside. I don't know what it's impregnated with, but it's the same. You just take the middle off your paracord.
Yeah, there's like one blue line, isn't there? It's expensive. It is expensive.
Yeah.
It's a blue line or a red line of cord, isn't it? And you only cut a little bit off.
Yeah, but there was one someone was talking about it on a forum, and you had the fire cord, but it also had a very thin lump of bronze wire in it as well for making snares. That's a pretty cool idea.
That's like an all-round survival cord.
Yeah, all-round survival cord. But there was something about the fire cord that you couldn't use it for, and I couldn't remember what the hell it was. It's really irritating now. It's going to bug me. But someone said, "Oh, you wouldn't be able to use it for this," and I thought, "Oh yeah, you couldn't, could you?" Might have been the friction fire bow. I'm not sure, but it was something where it involved getting the. No, it was burning the ends to seal them.
Ah, yeah.
Catch fire.
No, you can.
Yeah, the rest of it will melt, but you just got to be careful.
Yeah, because when you seal it, as long as you cool it straight away, it actually stops all the oxygen getting to it.
Yeah. But you still have to sort of fluff it all up and grind it about a bit.
Yeah.
But,
so what about people carrying stuff on them that they might not know they're carrying that is a tinder? Say for an emergency survival situation.
Belly button.
Belly button fluff, or the fluff out of like the inner of a coat or something.
Yeah. No, the best one I've done, I've actually done this on an account. I did a wild camp when I didn't know nothing. I knew feck all, and I took like one hexy tablet thinking that'll do me, that'll be fine, and that went out and it didn't light. But I ended up shaving thin bits of rubber off the bottom of my shoes, and I managed to light that with a fire steel, and that was all good. But then that also went out because it was pissing with rain. No, but burning my insoles out of my shoes. Just took my insoles out because they were foam. Because anything plasticky foam is oil based.
Yeah.
You know, even things like a crisp packet. The Bushcraft blacksmith, James, he just gets a crisp packet, screws it all up into a little like triangle, and lights that. And he lights the kiln, the forge with that.
Yeah,
just a crisp.
all the grease in it off the crisps.
Yeah, well, it's just the plastic.
Doritos.
Yeah, Doritos, anything like that. But
Easy Doritos are so oily.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people have the bands on.
Yeah. But virtually, going back to that fire cord, just to sort of jump to my head, a good way to do it, because it's expensive, is just buy a couple of meters and then just replace your zip toggles with a bit of fire cord. Job's good, because then you've got it with you, but you don't have to buy miles and miles and miles of it. So,
Yeah.
Shoelaces.
Yeah. But yeah, bits rubber's really good. Trying to think what else you'd got that would probably burn. Receipts and
You've got dry leaves. Crushed.
Yeah.
So they tend to go.
Yeah.
Carlisle says if he was in a survival situation, he'd burn his clothes.
He does that anyway, sat by the fire with his boots.
He burns his top.
We go to natural ones. You've got thistle heads.
Right.
They go up probably quicker than what cotton wool does. So you'd
Right.
have to mix them with something. Obviously, you put a bit of Vaseline on if you had it.
Yeah, I did. I collected a load of, not actually thistle heads, it was something else, like a little yellow flower, but it's all very, very spiny. I can't think what the hell that is called now. But I collected all them heads. But you get a ball of it and you light it and it just sort of burns around the outside really, really quickly. And then that's it, game over. And I tried it with Vaseline, I just couldn't get the epoxy stuff to light. Yeah, the nightmare.
I also collect the all that fluff and stuff out the tumble dryers.
Oh, perfect stuff, yeah, perfect.
And just bag that up and say it's free, it doesn't cost you nothing.
Yeah.
Packs away nice and light, and it's bone dry.
Yep, yeah, perfect.
But I've also, I mean, in those little kits I was doing as well, I've got a chunk of oak, so I was just getting some oak shavings.
Yep.
So if you can't find any dry wood about, you can add that to a wax pad or
Yep.
cotton ball, and that'll burn for a few minutes while it dries some of the thinner twigs out to get your fire going.
Yeah.
So, but,
Yeah.
I normally collect all kids' pencil shavings when they're doing like arts and craft and that. I just get out pencil shavings straight in the bag.
Or just take a pencil sharpener with you and do a twig.
Yeah, do a twig.
Or just take a crayon.
Yeah, crayon, that burn well.
Yeah.
I've been too
Cow
busy
dung
doing-
as well. Dried out cow dung.
Yeah?
Yeah, that was. Someone else picked up on it on the side chat. I can't remember it, so I apologise for that. Oh, it was Carlisle, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, most of that stuff, if it's proper dried out, has energy in it, it will be released, and it will be not so much as a tinder, I suppose, but more like like the horse's hoof. It's an ember extender. So if you wanted to move from camp, you could travel with the dung into your next spot. I think I've seen Les Stroud do it as well on the television.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You can move from camp to camp carrying cow dung.
So what about like chemical fires? Has anyone had a play with them?
I've seen it done.
I've used
Yeah,
magnesium, but
Yeah.
that blinds you as soon as you bloody light it.
Yeah, that's a very, very hot spark. Yeah, that's like. No, I mean like potassium penangamate. Anyone use that?
Yeah, that's the stuff that
It's the purple stuff.
Colonel Chimp is using, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And you add glycerin or something to it. Is that right?
Yeah, you need to add glycerin or. But you can also use chlorine. If you
chlorine,
get
like a bleach or something, isn't it?
Well, swimming pool tablets, those sort of big tablets like that, if you crush them up and add brake fluid to them, they catch fire. No, I've not tried it yet. But the other one that interests me as well is calcium carbide. Because during the war, or before the war, you always had carbide lamps on your bike, and you put a bit of water and some crystals, and the crystals give off acetylene, which is bonkers flammable. So you just add like a little burner, and it will burn acetylene. So if you get some calcium carbide and put some water on that and lit that, that should be able to start a fire, shouldn't it? In theory. I've not tried it because it's expensive. It was like I think it was like a tenner on Amazon. But most of these chemicals you can buy on Amazon, which is a bit scary.
I've just checked on the MTFU Craft WhatsApp, and Shane's offered to get somebody fat wood if anybody needs any. Apparently some of the woods across the way from him look like they've been some of the trees are blown over through the storm, so he says he'll go and have a look if anybody wants any.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. That'll be handy.
Does anyone else take when I know it's going to be cold, wet and damp, I always take barbecue firelighters as well. I always take one of them with me. Does anyone else take that?
Yeah, I've got a couple of the barbecue the lighters, and also the barbecue lighting gel.
Yeah, it's a bit too big for me. I tend to take the little bars. Really good in the charge packaging.
I just transfer some into a small bottle, and then just carry that. So it's a bit like the dragon gel, I presume. So.
Yeah, I you know the what the hell are they? The antibacterial wipe gels.
Yeah.
One of those. Well, a lot of those used to be alcohol and they used to be flammable, but nowadays they're not. And it's quite hard to find the flammable ones. But I got one of those and filled it up with the fire gel. So I had the antibacterial gel and the fire gel, and they looked exactly the bloody same, which is really annoying. But that worked pretty well.
Yeah, the barbecue gel's like a white paste, so
yeah. But the fire gel, they say you're supposed to be able to use it instead of meths and stuff. But as a fire lighter, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
But as a
burning aid.
As a burning aid, I don't really like it because I think you always have to like put about twice as much as what you think you need. You squirt a shite load in there and you think, yeah, that's plenty. You need to definitely put about that much again.
Yeah.
Because your water will just start to sort of simmer a bit, and then that's it. It'll just go out, which is irritating. But yeah, good stuff. But they do the Dragon Gel people. They now do little solid blocks as well, don't they?
Yeah.
I think the army started using them, haven't they? Instead of hexi blocks.
Oh, that Fire Dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've used that. You've got to have a container for it, because if you get the gel, the little tablets, once you start burning, it just goes all over the floor. And if you don't have it in a container, like I say, it just gets everywhere. It's like, just imagine like petrol on water kind of thing, and you light it. It's just that kind of.
Yeah, it melts, doesn't it? Yeah. Because Matt actually gave me some army firelighters, and they're very, very similar thing. What are those little green sachets you give me, Matt?
Oh, the US Marine trioxane blocks.
Yeah, that was a very similar thing.
Yeah, no, it's a purple block inside there, and you're supposed to break up into 3 or 4 pieces. But I just took one on a fire, and it burns for about 15-20 minutes.
Yeah.
But what happened? It's like a crystal that then melts downwards into the wood, but then burns your wood. But yeah, then trioxane blocks, which is what the American Army use.
Right. Yeah, that was good. That was good. That was.
Yeah.
You can probably boil water off of just one of them.
Off one, yeah.
They're similar to a hexi block, really, I suppose.
Yeah, but without the fishy smell and taste.
Yeah.
Has anyone been successful with like moss? I know moss can take a spark.
Yeah,
it's not something I've managed to yet.
Yeah, I've never tried to dry it out.
No.
Yeah.
Just one. I know that's there, and if you get stuck, that you can. It will if it's dried out enough. But it's not something I've played with yet or tried. So.
Yeah, I think that's like dried ferns as well. You know, the dead brown ferns.
Yeah.
That will.
Yeah, the dead ferns, and the same as well as the small branches off the pine with the pine needles. They go quite well.
Yeah, well, it still contains quite a lot of resin, doesn't it?
Yeah.
This is why one of my latest videos I dug out, and I got a cut on my hand from a bill hook. I cut out my fire pit because we're in a coniferous wood. I had to cut out and make sure there was no roots under my fire, because it can spread from your fire.
Yeah.
Set fire to the tree, because it still contains resin, and as soon as the roots or whatever gets to dried out and gets to combustion temperature, that's when it can set fire. So that's another little tip for anyone that's out camping, who's going to have a fire in a coniferous woodland, just to make sure, like you say, the roots can still contain the resin as well.
Yeah, and in peat soil as well. Yeah, you can have peat fires that go on for years, just keep popping up here and there and burning a few trees down and going back underground.
Yeah, that's where I used to live. There's a line of pine trees. I think that's been burning for about 12 years now. And that's like around it's not peat. It's literally just because of all the pine trees that's in that one line of trees. You see the fire brigade every now and again having to go up and put a fire out.
Well, it happened to me from first-hand experience, and we was going one night. We spent the weekend in the woods, and we was going, and we did the thing, and it was just by chance that it was like we kicked a bit of moss away, and it was like, hang on, it smouldered, and where the fire pit was, say it was 3 foot diameter, 8 foot all around was smouldering. We was like, what the hell? So You know, we all had to chuck every bit of water that we had spare onto it, and then, you know, we all had our little portable shovels, and we all had to turn it all over, and it was just like, oh yeah, that was an eye-opener, lads. We could have destroyed this whole like 900 acres or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, it was an eye-opener, and it was something that now it comes second nature, that we just dig back and just check. You know, we're leaving minimal impact on our surroundings, and that's from someone that would say they're pretty experienced on the outdoors. And you can imagine how these kids that just go in there, get pissed, and the biggest fire they can get, and then leave. It's easily done.
Yeah, definitely.
So if I go into like a pine forest, I take my stove with us.
Yeah, same. I was going to say that's my rule of thumb.
Just saves any bother or anything like that.
Well, we've sort of set up the new shelters in a pine forest, but it's the most dense we could find it to keep it safe. But we're doing enough precaution. It's only ever going to be the winter shelter. We're never going to stay there through summer, because it only takes one rogue spark to go and hit a bit of resin on an actual tree, and that's it. You can have done it that way. Instead of going underground, you can go in the canopy and do the same. So, as it's been, it was hard enough last weekend to keep a fire going. So I know it's not dry enough yet to cause a problem, but it was really hard, really hard. Everything was just bunky wood, and like Bruce was saying with the white smoke, every time you put a piece of wood on the fire, it was just steam. You could hear it sizzling away. It was like...
Yeah. I remember there was a video by Scouting Free, and it really brought it home. Right? He says a piece of wood the size of your arm, from your arm to your wrist, will give you light for 20 minutes, which that's fairly reasonable, right? So you need 3 of them in an hour. Yeah, just to give, not talking about getting you just, super hot, but you're getting the maximum amount of that wood that's burning for 20 minutes, right? If it's wet, you need 3 to do the same job. So then you're talking 9 bits of wood per hour. Now you think how many hours you want that fire going for? That's a hell of a lot of wood you got to cut just because it's wet.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need 3 times as much. 3 times as much as soon as it's wet to get the same heat output and the same amount of light. Blah blah blah. So, yeah, interesting.
Definitely.
More tinders that people might carry is jute twine.
Yeah, that's good. That's good to coat in wax as well to keep it dry.
You can just treat it like paracord and make yourself like a little lanyard.
Yep.
Always got bits coated in wax and then just lop bits off when you need it.
Or you can roll it in same with the Vaseline, not Vaseline, with cotton wool. Roll it in magnesium and then dip it in the Vaseline in wax. So it's like gives it an extra boost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's loads of different sort of you have a play that's sort of part of the fun. You can also just get bits of kindling from B&Q or whatever, and boil that in wax, and then the wood soaks up all the wax, and then you make your own fat wood, pretty much.
A friend of mine got some egg cartons, and he does a lot of woodwork, so he got a load of wood shavings, and melted that in with a load of wax, and then tipped the wax into the cardboard eggshells, and then let them dry up so they're like solid. And then all he'll do then is round the edge of the cardboard of the egg box, like a coat of Vaseline, and then dip that in the wax.
Yep.
So then when he lights that, they burn for a good 15-20 minutes.
That's a good idea.
Because it's just small pieces of wood shavings and wood chippings in with the wax.
Yeah, yeah. And the actual cardboard box is like the lighting primer.
The lighting device, the ignition towards,
Yeah, that's a good one with the jute twine that Matt was just saying. You obviously you can unfur it and fluff it all up as well, which makes it really good for like centre of a bird's nest if you've got a bunch of damp grass, just to get the initial heat in there to get it to go.
A couple of good points in the side chat here. Charlie Powell's put dry owl pellets burn extremely well. You can imagine with all the properties in them, all the fur.
Yeah, bits of fur and good one.
John's put his set a moss teepee on fire once. See you, Jimmy's put dry cow parts are also good for driving modders away.
Driving people away as well.
Yeah. And Robert McKenzie's put not just coniferous woods, you can get underground fires on any trees. Yeah, good point that, Rob. If you've got a fire close to any tree, it can cause damage, dry it out, or whatever.
Yeah, well, if you're camping next to a big dead tree, you know, you've just got wood underground. So yeah, definitely.
But even damaging a live tree, I mean, the same again. If you put your fire too close to the tree, and you've got some main root there, but you can't see, you can dry it out and damage the tree that way. So yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, definitely.
I hope John wasn't in the TP when he set it on fire.
Probably was. I mean, things like anything really, like plant seeds and plant fibres you can use as long as it's dry enough.
There's no way to get through all them tops, is there?
Yeah.
Because I know, like, obviously, I showed the Moxa Tinder tabs before we went live.
Yeah, give us a close up of them, Matt.
Oh god.
What are they? Moxa Tinder tabs.
Yeah.
And what? Yeah, go on. What are they made from?
These are made from mugwort. Don't know exactly how they're made. I'm gonna have a look into it. But they're very tightly wrapped, and they've got like I presume it's like some sort of tape around it.
Right.
Keep them. So whether or not it's like the dried stems or the leaves, like chopped up and bound.
Yeah. Well, mugwort has got quite sort of fluffy, not flowers, but kind of like seed pods. They're quite a bit like catkins sort of thing. But mugwort also keeps mozzies away. Because it's an old. Well, there's two different translations. Some people say it's supposed to make you intelligent. Use it as a medicine, and it makes you intelligent because you like mug up on something. It makes you more clever. But then the other translation is an old English spelling of mosquito, as in midgewort, to keep like a anti-insecticide type of thing. There you go.
I never knew what it was until recently.
Yeah, it's related to old hen, I think, as well.
Yeah, it's when you see something when you're just walking past and you think, what the hell is that? It took me forever to find out what it was.
Yeah, bright, really red stems, isn't it?
Yeah.
But then the green stems, if it looks the same as green stems, that's old hen, and you can eat. That's edible as well.
So I was looking for, what was I looking for at the time? I was looking for horsetail at the time.
Right.
Horsetail, just for friction fire.
Yeah.
Couldn't find any of that. I saw that and I thought, I wonder if that's it. And then it wasn't until I got home.
Yeah.
Did a bit of research, realised what it was.
Yeah. We did a foraging walk, and we found the original lettuce, which is what every lettuce and cabbage is made from now, but with obviously it's been genetically changed, and it's vile. It's absolutely vile. It's a big stiff stick with a load of these rubbery leaves on the side of it. It's bloody horrible.
Just the same as normal lettuce.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's like wild carrots. They're just like these little tiny thin things that are probably full of carrot fly. But they smell like carrot, and that's about it. Smell like carrot, taste like mud.
John was in the teepee while he was tending the fire.
Good lad.
He was tending the fire. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So obviously things like, I know you've got rose, bay, willow herb.
Yep, you can make cordage out of that as well.
Oh, I've just found a picture of mugwort for those who want to see it.
Ah, nice one.
It is that one.
Yeah, and it smells lovely. I do like the smell of that.
Keep talking, Matt, while you show her the picture.
Yeah, I know, I keep jumping off.
Yeah, sing a song.
Hang on, 2 seconds. What I'll do, I'll present myself.
Ooh, present yourself.
I've already got my fat wood out, so you know.
What?
Wrong channel.
Or is it?
Wrong channel.
It's after 10 o'clock, it's alright.
Yeah.
Not really It's not
Yeah,
really.
can't really make it out.
See if I can turn light on, that might help.
Yeah, that's all right. That's good enough.
That's it there.
Yeah, that's it. The reds.
Because the book,
Well,
I've got
that
that one, the herbs and healing plants.
yeah.
That's actually quite a good one.
Yeah, well, that YouTuber I mentioned before on the chat, that Chris Kershaw, he did a good one on mugwort. Then he pretty much said what I said, because that's where I learned it from.
I think it was actually you that mentioned mugwort, so that's why I went and looked at it, and that's how I realised what it was.
Right, yeah.
'Cause I think that book, that herbs and healing plants, is what Di mentioned in your last week's chat, Kev.
Right.
Yeah, possibly.
Because it's all colour coded to the different flower colours and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's really annoying. I've got a mushroom foraging book, and it's got loads of it's an English mushroom foraging, English mushroom identification book, and it's got them all in there. It tells you everything. Doesn't tell you if they're edible or not.
Yeah,
That's handy. Why?
I've
Why
got
would
the
you do
Roger
that?
Phillips one, and it's just far too heavy to carry around with us.
Yeah, it's a lovely little book. And you end up looking up a fly agaric. Yeah, that will kill you. Doesn't say.
I'm just reading a little bit on a Google search for natural tinders, and there's a part that says that dried bracken will take a spark, and also works well as a tinder bundle. So I'm presuming that dried bracken.
Yeah, that's ferns.
Like, ferns, isn't it? So I presume what you do is you get a load of ferns. So long as they're dry, you crumple them all up for them to take the spark.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
I found dried Himalayan balsam. That's worked really well. Proper rough it up and it takes a spark really well and burns for quite a while.
Clematis bark you could use.
Yep.
Um,
But as you say, rough it all up and get as much sort of surface area as possible. Rub it all up in your hands or rub your knife on it. There's the camera. And just to get the sort of surface area, so when it hits the spark, it will sort of stick to it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It also says something on here about scraping the fibres of inner bark that can be removed from dead standing trees is also a good tinder.
All right. Of any tree, is that?
Yeah, we tend to focus on the outer barks, really like your birch barks and stuff, but the inner barks will do the same.
Yeah, I mean the example they've given is that they've used a western red cedar, and whether you can get that over here or not, I'm not sure. But apparently, if you scrape into a fine dust and then take some shavings off, that takes a spark quite well.
Yeah, you can do it with poplar trees as well. I know you get tulip poplar over here.
Yeah.
Certain places. That's got a right weird leaf. I found some of that near work and I was like, what the bloody hell is that? It wasn't until I looked it up that I realised what it was.
Yeah. Well, it was one I was trying to ID, and it was really weird. White oak.
Yes.
You ever seen a white oak? Nothing like an oak.
No.
Well, it looks like an oak, but the leaves are totally wrong.
No, I'll see if I can find one.
Yeah, it's weird.
White oak? I've never even heard of a white oak. I'm going to get my book out. I want to have a look.
Yeah, but the leaves are just... You look at the leaves and you think, what the bloody hell is that? But it's still got like little acorn cups around on the floor. Yeah. There you go. So you got you all interested now. But I was standing on my phone googling it, going through. I've got a tree ID app that says how many veins in the leaves and are they staggered and how long are they, blah blah blah. And you put the details in, and it tells you what the tree is, and then shows you a picture of the tree, and you go, yeah, that's it.
That's spot on, that. What app's that?
I don't know. Tree. There's loads of them. There's loads of tree ID apps.
I'm going to look for that.
Yeah.
What about pine cones then? I know we can use them as a kindling, but are they resinous for a tinder? We could process them a bit. I've never tried that.
I've seen people dip them in wax, definitely.
There?
Yeah.
I don't know if there was resinous where you could maybe take a spark from them.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but probably if you like ground it up, you'd probably make like a nice sort of dust that would just smash them to bits, really.
I know when I've used my my gilly kettle, I've had a load of dry pine cones and put them in the base, and they do burn. They do really burn well, but I've never actually taken a ferro rod and tried lighting one
Yeah. Well, the good thing with pine cones, if a pine cone's open, you know it's dry.
Yeah.
Because when it's wet, they close. So
Yeah.
there's a good rule of thumb.
There you go. There's another little challenge there for anyone out there who wants to make a little video and try and process it and put it to the MTFU Facebook page.
Yeah.
We'll have a look at it.
Or if they want to enter my 700 subs giveaway and do the 4 types of fire challenge.
I can recommend it to anyone. It's brilliant.
And then they can win this.
Movie star.
A double-handed stainless steel cookery.
Oh look, it's got my name on it.
No, it hasn't. Not yet. Not yet. It hasn't. Yeah.
That weighs nearly half my kit. That thing.
It weighs just the knife on its own is 1.2 kilos.
That's an extra sleeping bag.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't need a sleeping bag when you got that.
But a sleeping bag can't
You've just
cut a
got
tree
the
down and
warmth in your
process wood.
heart.
I don't need about 7 years of my life when the police catch me with it either.
What? No.
Just get Mac to make you a sheath for it like he did my axe.
A sheath to go over the sheath. It's not an offensive weapon.
Just trying to think.
It's not the sort of thing you walk into McDonald's with, granted, but.
Walk into the local school or something, the local courthouse with that on you.
It would be fine. You say it's a religious knife, didn't you? It's got a Shiva on it, look. Check her out. Doing a little dance.
Let's just kill the conversation, didn't it?
It does. Just watching Shiva dancing.
While we're running out of things to talk about, couple of shout outs.
Yes.
First one, Stenbocken Bushcraft. I believe he's over in Norway, Finland, Sweden, somewhere that area. Yeah. I'll just name all of them. And there's another one, North American Bushcraft School. I don't know if anyone's seen them. They've got some amazing tanning videos. They've actually tanned a whole bear skin.
Cool.
Okay.
I think it's in about 10 parts.
Yeah, it has to be. Tanning is one of those things that is such a mission to do.
Yeah. If anyone's on Instagram, obviously check out the MTFU Craft Instagram page.
Yep. And anyone in MTFU, if you're on MTF, if you're on Instagram yourself, if you tag it MTFU Craft, then the MTFU can search through it and then post your pictures on the MTFU Instagram as well, if you get what I mean.
Okay, so when did MTFU Craft become available?
Since if you look on the main group, it says MTFU #MTFU Craft right across the top of the screen. So it's been there a while, probably about a year.
All right.
Everyone forgets to use the tags.
Yeah, no one ever tags.
Yeah, because I've been following it for a while and I just realised I am. Sorry, boys. That's naughty of me.
If you search MTFU Craft, that'll come up with I pretty much do it on all my pictures.
Cause I always tag MTFU, camp shaking, whatever I'm doing in my tags.
Yeah, but I think it was Rob decided on MTFU Craft for some reason because he's a stupid Canadian.
Yeah, plastic yank.
Yeah.
Another one for anyone in the MTFU. Anyone who hasn't got one of these, why not?
Patches.
Obviously,
on the Instagram actually we're giving away a patch at the moment. I think it's Jonesy is running Jonesy Bushcraft. He's running the MTFU Instagram, and he's running a to win a patch competition on there. I think you just got to nominate 2 people to do it, and then you can win a patch. So that's cool.
Yeah, I think I nominated 3.
Yeah, but I think we're going to do like a monthly patch giveaway if people are interested.
Yeah.
That's quite cool.
Obviously, if anyone wants any patches, just speak to Bruce after this.
Yeah, message me on Facebook or message me on...
Are we doing an after chat or?
We'll have a little chat for 5 minutes.
Yeah,
but,
no problem.
Yeah.
Obviously, what I'll do, I'll put all the links to everyone's channels and all the channels that we've shouted out in the box below.
Yeah.
Probably tomorrow.
While we're on here, and this will probably stitch you up, Matt. Next week's chat is about like roadkill and game prep and stuff like that. Now the problem is I've got a dentist appointment at 7:30, and I'm probably not going to be able to talk.
The only one that does this sort of stuff.
Since it's kind of my specialist subject.
Well, I'll just change it.
It might be worth changing it.
Well, that's why I put them on in advance, so if we know that things are, I can change them.
Otherwise, I'll just sit there and try and dribble blood down my front or something. So yeah, best not. Yeah.
Oh well, that's fine. We can change it. So, anybody got any channels they want to shout out or anything like that? On Instagram, there's obviously linked to Tim Tank Tracks. We've got the Wilderness Pioneers.
Yes, yeah.
Give them a check out. I think they're actually going to start doing a bit more.
Yeah, give them a follow on Instagram, but they're going to soon be doing a YouTube channel as well. Yeah. That Tim's trying to sort out with them. But he's going to have the different instructors doing different things. So it's going to be. It sounds really bloody interesting what he's got planned. So yeah, definitely give them a follow.
What we'll do when that goes live, we'll just mention it on one of these as well. So,
but the Wilderness Pioneers, the show 10,000 BC, they're the ones that built all the props for 10,000 BC, all of the fishing gear and all the spears and bows and arrows and all that sort of stuff. They're the people that built it, so they do know what they're talking about. So, yeah, well worth a follow. Yeah. Once it sort of comes to fruition, but it shouldn't be long. But yeah, nice.
Anybody got any more for any more?
Any suggestions for next week's chat?
I've got a plug that, if you don't mind, I'm doing for Camp Shaky.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. The first 3 weekends of March, the Camp Shaky boys were doing a charity-sponsored walk of the Cotswold Way, which is 102 miles over 3 weekends.
Right.
And it's all in aid of homeless veterans, soldiers that have come back that aren't getting the attention or the help needed. And there's a link there to the Royal British Legion Just Giving page, which I'm trying to find out off my phone now, but if not, I can put it up on MTFU page and advertise it on there. If people can just click on the Just Giving page and give a little bit or as much as they can, it would help the guys out. Yep. That desperately need it. I mean, there's a few things happening on Facebook at the moment where there's a guy in Solihull that's been forced to live in his car because he's an ex-serviceman and the council won't give him a rehousing because apparently he doesn't qualify. And I just think it's disgusting the way that it's been done, and we're just trying to do our little bit for it.
Yeah,
so we're doing 102 miles Cotswold Way from Bath to Chipping Camden. And as I say, we'll be doing it over 3 weekends, first weekend, second weekend and third weekend of March.
Awesome. If you give Matt a link for that as well, we can put it in the bottom of this chat.
I was just going to say that. Just send us the link over Facebook or whatever, Matt, and then I'll put it in at some point. I'll get it. It'll probably be tomorrow when I come in from work.
Yeah, nice one. Thank you. Appreciate that, guys.
Yeah, and anyone who's watching as well, give us a few likes and comments and just to prove that you enjoyed it and you actually watched it. So.
Can I just I've got a little mission myself.
Go for
it. Basically, I've got a few on my Facebook group. I've got a few people that's got a few disabilities, and what I'm trying to find out for them, because accessibility problems. We've got a lot of us that camp a lot, and we've been all over the country and all over the UK. And what I basically want to know, if people have been out and they've been camping at locations, if it's a camp spot or it's in the woods, somewhere that the group members with disabilities can go with ease.
Right, so it's not so something with decent paths and
yeah, basically it's
easy access,
I know
easy parking.
some of the groups, they do a lot of camping where they just pull up in the car and they just pitch at the side of the in the field at the side of the car, or whether it's a designated camping site. If anyone wants to just put it on the MTFU page, and I'll take it. But if anyone's got any of these locations where they know, I know there's Big John in Edale. That's is that Camp Shaky or not? No.
John Dodworth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Camp Buzzer Boys. Well, it's Camp Edale. They've got a place called the Edale Camp, and it's on a farm site. Yeah. And the guys, the guy who owns the farm, has got a big barn that they convert, and they put hay bales in there for, they provide a band, they put a fridge in there to bring your own beer. I think last year they did, a guy came in with a pizza oven and they made pizzas all weekend. Yeah. And they've got an event on this year, which is the same time as the Bushcraft show. Camp Shaky boys are going there as well to show our support. But I think it's £5 a night for the weekend for 4 nights or something like that.
So somebody that's got a few disabilities could easily get
around. Go there, yeah. It's from what I can gather, it's a farmer's field that you're camping, and then if the weather's a bit crappy and whatnot, he's got a big barn that you can go in. Yeah. They put a few hay bales in there, a couple of fridges, so you take your own beer, put it in the fridge. And he's going to try and get a band, I think, for the Saturday night. Yeah. But as I say, John will probably give you more details as well, or some of the guys from there.
Yeah. So, but like I say, if anyone else has any more information of any other, any other place like these people, because I'd hate it. I'd hate it if I couldn't get out of the weekend or whatever. So, if anyone knows of any spots, whether it's an official site or just somewhere that, like a farmer anywhere in the Lake District, anywhere that lets someone go, where if they're going to find it. They're not going to struggle with the terrain or facilities or anything like that. If they just pass on the information to me, and I'll start passing it around this group of people that have been asking me.
I'll definitely keep an eye out.
Yeah. So thanks everyone for that.
No problem.
No. Yeah. That should be us done now.
Yep. What we'll do, just say everyone say their goodbyes and
goodbye.
Bye. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you. Don't forget to like.
We're gonna sing "Bring Me Sunshine" now.
But yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and obviously share the video so we can get to a few more idiots like us.
Yeah.
All right. Right. Catch you in the next one, guys.
Okay.